Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and War Games, and today we unbox the one-player starter set for the Weaver Court for Conquest. Very excited to see this. We saw one miniature already and now we're going to take a look at what is the core of their army. As you can see, there is a lot of stuff inside. We know the starter package where there is little rule sets and everything. This we like, but I'm especially excited to see their main infantry, which look quite interesting. Those giant ants stuff, the hero sure, and those giant moth, which are lost my style, but we'll see how they look. We're gonna do this the usual way on how to start a faction, which means it's gonna be a long video. We're gonna do the unboxings, look at the sprues, look at the characters and everything. We even have a little teaser in there of like the different units in the faction, and some of them look absolutely insane. So we're gonna cover this, make the unboxing, a deep dive on the rules, how they play, what you can play straight out of the box with this little set, combination of units. And it's gonna be the main part, like how they play better. And then we're also gonna include a few of the other units if you want to expand that I think are important for the gameplay. We'll analyze it together, and of course I'm gonna explain to you how to play with the dragon a little bit, like a short version, because it looks too cool. So we'll see how the army as a whole functions. If you like this type of content on Conquest, as always, you know how it works. Thumbs up, subscribe, a comment, which makes me happy and gives you a chance to win stuff like armies and starter sets and stuff. The best way for you to support us in Conquest is to go to the Parabellum website and you use the code LOVE10 and you get 10% off and free delivery. So this really supports us the best. And of course, always be there and comment and share on our Conquest video. We have tournament reports and lots of battle reports coming and stuff. We have more and more armies painted, so we're trying to make some variety. So thank you very much for those that support us through Parabellum website and through any other mean like likes, subscribe and everything. That also helps. So thank you guys. Let's have a look. Okay, lots of stuff in there. Let's start to unpack all of this. So we got some bases. So yeah, I guess you guys know by now how Conquest works, but they're base like square for the regimental mass battle games, and also this you can magnetize and stuff to play for the Skirmish version, which is going to be reworked soon. Gonna take a look at the cards. You know what? Let's take a look at the cards now. So we have a little teasers of the different units you can have, because you make your pile of cards determine your order of activations at the start of each turn, so that makes it interesting. We have the Mhor Sidhe. Oh my god, there is a trend. I need to check. I will check for the online video how to pronounce all of those. But yeah, for now I'm just gonna read them as if they were English words. I'm sorry for the Irish people. So this is Mhor Sidhe, and it's gonna be the hero. Okay, very cool. The Ant, which are the Crann Guardians. Looks amazing. Really like this style of ants. The Rhun Sidhe, probably an alternative build of the hero. More like shooty version. We got the Ciannir Riders, so the Moth Riders, with we don't see the arm, we don't know what weapon they have. We also have the Sciathan Riders, or Sciathan Riders maybe, so another version of the Moth. I don't know which one is the shooty one and which one is the melee fast one. License registration code. So yeah, you have to, if you use this to activate the application is free, but you need to have some codes. You can also ask it on Discord. They need to do this. They didn't explain how, but you need to do this because it's a tax thing about America, basically. The infantry, the Kern Skirmishers, so the shooty infantry. All right, very well, we're gonna see it. And you have two cards, and they don't have alternative builds, so they are Kern Skirmishers, and that's it. Okay, so those are the cards. Quite like the art style. Let's now take a look at the sprues. All right, oh my god, it's in some countries, in the sense it's a little bit of a mess. Let's try to, oh my god, there are things flying around. Okay, let's take a look. I have to say, guys, it's gonna be difficult to guess what is what. This, I believe, it's gonna be a character. Yeah, we can see the character. Oh my god, is it the face? Is it the face? No, this is the face. Okay, right. So wait a second, let me put it better under the direct light. That's gonna be better. So we have the face here and the rear of the mask or something. The Weaver Courts are very much, okay, if I had to give a stereotype, they are like Wood Elves, but very different in the sense they are more insectoid, like they're 1/3 flowers, 1/3 elves, and 1/3 insects, I would say, which is a nice mix. Like they are what I wish the Sylvaneth would be. This this is like a dead leaf. It looks like a real dead leaf. There, well done, guys. All right, so a few weapons, nice little set. The bow, of course, and a cool-looking sword. No, not a sword. How we call it? Quiver. Okay, looks nice and cute for a character. Those are gonna be the sprues for the moths. How do we pronounce moth plural? Moths? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of moths, just because I really hate flying insects in general as a personal thing. But that's just my phobia. They do have nice looking wings. I guess you can paint them very colorful if you would like to, like kind of like this, you know, with a like this little eye that you can see sometimes on butterflies and stuff. You can see the rider here, the legs of the thing. As always with Conquest, very nice, like 3D version of the sprues, like lots of details. The texture here is flawless, like unearly feels like touching fur, and diverse heads. Yeah. Really not my favorite unit design wise, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be really cool to see on the table. At least I will love to burn down those things with my Duegome fire sorcery. Oh yeah. A unit that is very much more in my taste are the half like nature elemental ants. So if I look here, those guys do look quite a bit different, though we really need some building instruction. Like we can see, like this is the torso, we can get some heads. Is this a head? This is the type of faction where you really need to make sure which bit is which. Like that it looks quite, how to call it, woody, like roots. Yeah, I think you can really have fun painting all of this. More stuff. We have more. Those probably are the skirmishers. I'm really guessing. I think this is the kind of like expansion to make a command stand out of the skirmishers with a special bow. Because they're very small, so I am guessing this is what it is. We have this bit that just flew away. Okay, it's from the end. I think this box really got kicked by the transporter at some point. So more of the, oh no, it's not the exact same sprue, of the ants with this very long arm. Let's believe it is an arm. God, they're really hard to read, like what is which. Like when there is a special texture, okay, I understand it needs to be leaves and stuff, but the rest, well, I guess it's gonna be not easy to paint for a beginner, so you can just put contrast on everything. And I think if you like if you are inspired, you can really make them look good. And they have a theme of like being the courts of like the winter, summer, etc. And you can really put them all in the same color, and all pink like for spring, all orange for the autumn. It's gonna look really cool, and all the white for winter is gonna look amazing. We have a very good painter that is gonna take care of those guys, so we can have them on the table. Really looking forward for that. Oh my god, look at the number of sprues. Okay, there is more for the ants. Okay, this is the exact, sorry, the guardians. Let's call them the guardians. More for the guardians. Exactly the same sprue. Yep. The main sprues finally for the skirmishers, so the main infantry, and this I'm quite interested to see the design clues of the faction that we see from in there. Lots of fur that I guess are leaves. Few nice little melee weapons because they're not supposed to be defenseless. Those cool looking wooden bows. The bows are very cool. And a few little knives. Even the knives look insectoid with the little holes in there. We do have some remembrance in how thin and pointy they are, that those are spire creatures. Like they just decided to not follow the spire ways when they got cut from their homeworld, but we can see a lot of inspiration from this. Okay, we got another sprue which is exactly the same. Okay, and a third sprue. Okay, I think I see where this is going. And a fourth sprue, exactly the same. Yes, a fifth and a sixth sprue. It's still the same. Okay, I don't mind it. There looks like to be quite a variety, and you have 6 sprues of skirmishers, which is still like good value. And I mean, these two are main infantry. It's okay that they are standardized, and if it allows to keep the costs low, I'm very fine with that. So 6 sprues of infantry with 3 sprues, so 1 per stand for the commander. You can have 3 commanders if you would like. 3 plastic sprues for the guardians, so they're wooden creatures, I guess 1 per creature, but technically like you cannot just take one and say, okay, this is 1 creature, etc. But you have 3 sprues, which is a good deal. It allows us to understand like the price per plastic per sprue. 2 sprues for the flying moths with their variants in there. And finally, 1 plastic, because yes, the character is in plastic, not in resin, for the main, bless you mother, for the main character. Alright, it's not finished because you have some 2 die. Oh, there is more. Is it? How many extra? Okay, I said you have 3 commanders, you actually have 6. I guess those are extra bits. The fact that there are 6 makes me believe that they are needed for the constructions. Okay, still nice. So you do have 1 sprue and a bit. So 6 sprues and a bit for the infantry, which are really the core of the box. Like, you would guess it from this. Like, you really have 24 infantry, and then 3 creatures, and a character. So it makes sense that they are the bulk of the plastic in there. You have the 2-dimensional terrain, because terrain is important. Good to have. You got some dice. Oh, those are big. I like them. Let's keep them. Some stuff that fell off. Oh my god, the box really was kicked, I believe. First time I see it. I will keep it here for our painter so he doesn't lose it. The quick start guide, that we will take a look. The welcome guide for the Weave report. Yeah, that is nice. The fluff, good. How to expand your army. Oh, they're doing my work. So how to expand from what you have. So you have this, the ethereal vanguard. I know, here is a bit more, with more focused on the flying units. You can have the wooden creatures like the will-o-wisps and the Draic and the Ciannir Sidhe. Well, you have quite a few options. Ethereal vanguards, again, but a little bit different, depends on your characters and stuff. Briar Wardens, Verdant cohorts and stuff. This is good for you if you want some combination, but I will explain to you guys like more like the units, how they actually play, and then you can decide how you want to mix them. Quick start guide in First Blood, which is the skirmish version. Good for you to play. Good that they included, even though I heard that there is yet another rework that is going to be made. But it's very fun as you get your army painted and you don't have enough miniatures to play the full mass battle game, to have this skirmish version. Many rules are similar and it's actually quite a good game by itself. And you have a map of the world. We've seen it a few times, but it's nice. It's not the full like high quality one, but it's good to have it. We even see the Sorcerer Isles now. That's good. And these things to measure in inch. So 9 inch, 3 inch, and 2 inch in 1 inch. Okay, very good. It's always nice to have these little things with the little logo of Conquest. And that is going to be it. We have the building instructions. I would like to take a look just to see how to build the skirmishers. Indeed, you have 6 of them. It's good that they show you exactly the number of sprues. I should have started with that. That's amazing. I like that they now tell you the customizability. Like Kern Skirmishers, all main body parts have corresponding letters. All heads, arms, chest, and back decoratives are interchangeables. Moth head are interchangeable. The rider head. I really like that they explain this. They're getting better and better at this. And so yeah, you have those things, and I do start to believe that, okay, it's the leaders. I guess you can make a stand only of leaders. Like leaders are those, you can make like 4 of them and make it your command stand if you would like. And of course, all the rules and the building instructions and everything are available for free online on the Parabellum website. Okay, we have seen the absolute ton of plastic that you get from this. And I mean, there is just so much. That's great. Now let's go for the big main part of the video. And actually, guys, before we go to the whole Tactica thing, I did receive, between the moment I received the starter, and the moment I wanted to record the Tactica. Another box, it came like almost right after. I already sent to our painter the first box, so I can make a whole package of everything. But we received the Coil Draic, which it's so cool. I already wanted to talk about this guy. And we got this. I think it's a double kit, absolutely, because it says here also make the Scoth Draic. And I mean, I'm very happy to have this. First to unbox it, then I can talk about it in detail in the video. And also, of course, there's gonna be a really cool conversion of this guy, and you will see it in the battlefield. The archer character from the starter set is has this as a mount, so you can really make a cool conversion with him on the back. Like, it's gonna look incredible. But this being said, let's open the box and have a look at what sprues we get. And of course, it's gonna go in the Tactica. Okay, this is an absolutely massive box, which it can be at 140 euros. I think it's gonna be an absolutely massive and very cool creature. And it's full plastic. We love this. I mean, resin, we can say like, yeah, it's resin, so it's normal that it's more expensive, but I love when we get nice full plastic monsters. I mean, they're lighter. So we got the little registration code. I was not supposed to show it. Well, well, here it is. The first one who wants it to use it, there it was. And let's take a closer look at all of that. Okay, we have 5 thick sprues. Oh my god, like very thick. Building instructions, the monster base, which is the largest that can be, as usual. And the 2 different versions. So we have the Coil Draic, which is the one that we have seen here. So it's basically a normal dragon with a very cool face here. And my personal favorite, the Scoth Draic. Like, it really looks something straight out of Rift, this old MMO that really inspired me for my role-playing games years. And I also write stuff on Reddit, like fantastical novels, and I really got inspired by Rift, and this really reminds me Rift. Did you guys play this old MMO that was really cool with a very unique universe? Okay, building instructions are seeming quite fine. You just have basically the phase that changed, as you can see here. And yeah, it's, well, we kind of guessed. Looks easy enough to build. And another assembly tips. Okay, read first. Yeah, they said be very careful on a couple things. Maybe they give tips on how to magnetize. And yeah, if you want to magnetize, better to read this first. Let's not waste any more time and have a look at the bits. So we have the legs. Quite indeed. Yeah, it looks like leaves, almost like, I don't know, lichen? How do you pronounce it in English? Lichen? Lichen? I don't know. And foliage as well, which is very much on theme. Texture is very nice. Yeah, this is gonna take the contrast speed paint very well. Probably the face of the Scoth Draic right there. Yeah, this is very floral. I think it's gonna be a joy to paint, and I think it's the miniature I'm most excited in the, oh my god, look at this. I'm most excited in the Weaver Core to see. Okay, this looks a bit, okay, I'll not say anything, but you know what, you guessed it as well. And yeah, this is the miniature I'm most excited to see on the table, because yeah, it's gonna look incredible. This like vegetal based dragon is such a cool concept. Got more wings / feathers there, and yeah, I think you can really have a joy to paint this. Between the wood, the bark, the foliage, the flowers, you can make something either very muddy, very green and brown, either something very springy with a lot of pink, or autumny, folly, depends on how you call it, and very orangey. Like, I think you can really make a very cool themed army. Yeah, even more barky stuff here. I love this, like the wood here, it looks like muscles with little not feathers, leaves out there. Just an incredible concept, very well executed. Like, I love the quality of the bits. Need to see it fully built, of course, because it looks like a racing car. Like, it really looks like it can go very fast. We'll see the tactics a little bit later. The fact that it can be a mount as well is great. I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure it can be a mount. This is the miniature that can make you start an army of the Weaver Courts. A couple of those guys on the battlefield, and it's everything you need. Yeah, this with contrast paint, damn, can be really cool. And the clothes, of course, very pointy, trying to showcase a bit of everything. And the last sprue, so you guys can see to get inspired by this and to see what you get. A bit more of everything. I like the very, how to say, like feathery, tendery, like you see the bones and the nerves and stuff here, which makes it, someone said, I think it was EDTV that said like it looks like a racing rabbit, and I can absolutely see this. Makes me more remind of a, yeah, okay, racing rabbit works. I was about to say more like bird of prey, but I think it's the base. Yeah, probably part of the base, and you put a little leg on it and then it races. So yeah, as always from Parabellum, incredible quality, like nothing to say. 5 huge sprues. It's gonna be a massive monster. Yes, it's 140 euros, but you get for your worth, and you only want one most of the time, except if you're a bit crazy like me and you want to have an army with a couple of those, so you can have both variants on the table. We'll see if it's useful or not in the Tactica. I'm really happy with this, and as always, if you really want to support the channel, you can go on the Parabellum website and use the LOVE10 code. It's gonna give you 10%, and us, it really supports the channel, as always. All right, guys, this was for the unboxing part. Now, what you all want to know is, like, is it fun to play? How does it play? And yeah, let's make a full review of the special rules and everything of the Weaver Courts. Let's go. So let's keep going for the tactical part of the video, where we discuss how to play the entire faction of the Weaver Court. This is the faction that we have received now, and an overview of how the army as a whole is playing. We use a recent army list from the 24th of October, which is the latest one at the time of discussion right now. And we will see how all of this works without wasting any time. As a quick reminder of what you get in the starter set, so what we're gonna talk about right now, if you buy the box, you have one character, which is this guy here, if you see the mouse. You're also going to get 3 of the riders, so the flying guys, shooty or melee ones. We will see both. You will also get the 3 ents, or like 3 men, or however you want to call them. The Crann Guardians, I really like them. And you have 2 packs of the Kern Skirmishers. So those are, you can make a huge pack. I'm not sure if it's super efficient. Or 2 packs of 3, or 1 pack of 5 if you want to optimize, etc., etc. All the stands, all the little like extra things, the cards, obviously, the stands, the dice, the card, and measuring tools, etc., that you see up there. So really a ton of things for the starters. I know some people start to say that, oh, but Conquest, isn't it a bit expensive? First of all, yes, but with minus 10% and free delivery, it's much cheaper. And it also has incredible starter sets, and this is no exception. Okay, army rule for the Weaver Courts, and you can see it's a very packed thing. Like we talk about seasons and seeds. There are 2 things to take into consideration. The first is the seasons, and it's quite obvious. There are 4 seasons, and you're gonna go in a sequential order, going from spring to summer to autumn to winter to spring again. If you're watching this video in the early 21st century, hopefully we still have seasons, and you're still at the surface of Earth, so you know how seasons work. We follow this cycle. There is also a system of seeds, and this we'll talk in a second to explain like what changes. Basically, I put you the full rules here. What I can tell you as a short version, I put the short version under, is that seasons, each regiment is often going to have a season attached. So a regiment of spring, a regiment of autumn, characters as well. When it is their correct season, they are going to gain +1 to their March characteristics. So you need to have, for example, your warlord is a warlord of winter, let's say, the spellcaster, I think it is. And if you have friendly regiments of winter comes +1 to march. So you can march very fast, or it gives you +1 to charge if you want to charge. So something to synchronize. It's nice. It's not completely crazy, but okay. You're also going to have some seeds, and this is something else. Seeds is something you're often going to get through shooting. There are a couple other ways, but let's not go into details. And when you shoot on someone, you're going to put a seed on them. Most likely your Kern Skirmishers, so your shooters, put a seed when they shoot on someone. I tell you shooting, actually in melee as well, you can put a seed, but as we will see, the playstyle of the Weaver Court is most likely to shoot and put at a distance some seeds and then to trigger them in melee. But obviously, like if you make an attack, doesn't even matter if the enemy loses wound or not, as long as he's touched by your attack, even if he defends against it, he gets a seed. you can have a maximum of 2 seeds. And anyway, it's obvious. Um, Anything else, you cannot go higher, but you don't care because if you have 2 seeds on you, so you've been shot twice or shot and meleeed, etc., you have 2 seeds. When we change the turn, you change the season, and the seeds bloom, and there is an effect that happens depending on the season. So, for example, previous turn, your opponent has 2 seeds, new turn arrives, it's spring. What happens on the regiment is spring's growth. And then when this regiment needs to charge, the guy that got the seeds, the enemy regiment, then you roll 2d6 and you pick the lowest. And okay, little specification if you can reroll. But yeah, that's quite powerful. You can reroll, of course, for all of this, but it's actually quite scary for your opponent. Like, I know, yes, someone you really wants to charge with, I don't know, some minotaurs, some giant dragons or something. If you tell him, like, okay, take 2d6, and if there is a 1, you take the 1, that's gonna be very annoying for your opponent. Let's check the other 3 as well. Summer's Heat. When a friendly regiment performs a charge against the enemy regiment, 2d6, and then you roll the charge distance. So it's really a combo. For example, you shoot a little bit, the enemy fails the charge because he has Spring's Growth, and then while he has Spring's Growth, you keep shooting at him, proceeds. And next turn, your opponent failed the charge because he rolled 2d6 and you had to pick the lowest. And if you continue to shoot at him, you're going to have 2d6 and pick the highest for the charging distance. That's great. That is, you can really see the cycle and the play style. Like you put debuff on the opponent, then you buff, and then you charge. Then let's consider that you're making a charge as well. Autumn's Harvest. If you make a charge against an enemy regiment, you gain shock, so basically +1 clash. Also very appreciable. And Winter's Frost. Friendly regiment in contact with the enemy regiment gain dread. So it's not like the enemy suffers as if you had dread, is if you touch the enemy with Winter's Frost, you gain dread, which means the enemy cannot inspire, so you tank here, let's say. So great, I mean, very interesting, very fun, very fluffy. The part where you have the seasons and you gain +1 march, it's cute, but mostly there is a seed mechanic of basically a combo, and you get rolling and you put seed and you put seeds. There are ways to trigger the seeds without waiting the end of the turn, and it's a whole army of synergy, and we'll see how it plays on the table, but the whole thing is this. And remember this system of seasons, you put seeds, it makes a bloom, and keep going like this. Those are key terms that we will talk about again. And I realize I blocked my own text, so here it is, if you want to take a look. We will start with Rhun Sidhe. Oh my god, I should have checked the pronunciation. It looks like it's pronounced Sidhe. This hero is the archer hero. He's quite cute, quite cool. He can go on a dragon, but we'll see that way later. But remember that. He costs 100 points if you take him in the foot version. He has average stat line in terms of defense. Yeah, average low actually. Defense 2, evasion 2. So evasion 2 with resolve 4, good, and 5 wounds. He will not instantly die as soon as someone duels him, because he has good resolve and evasion 2. But he really doesn't want to face an enemy melee character like Blender. He has 5 wounds, which is okay, 5 attacks in melee, clash 2, but especially volley 3, which is what you want because he has barrage 5. So 5 shots at 14 inches with rapid volley and aimed shots. So he's really a good archer. He's part of the court of spring. So when you are in spring, which is going to be you can go even faster. He has a few interesting capacity. Let's start with guided pollinization, which is something you're going to get regardless of whether this guy is your warlord or not. Basically, it punishes your enemy if he plays very packed. So it needs to be during a spring season, like a spring round, okay? This character regiment shoots on someone, or in melee, if you're not lucky, but most likely he's in pack of archers, he shoots on someone, he applies a seed. You can decide to remove all seeds from the enemy, so the enemy doesn't have seeds anymore, they're clean. However, every other enemy regiment within 8 inches, so in a bubble, gain a seed. So it's really good to put a pressure quite early on. I mean, if there is a lonely guy already with 2 seeds, you don't really want to shoot him. But if there is a target that has no seed, for example, you can shoot on this guy, as I read it. He gains a seed, but you immediately remove it, so whatever. You don't shoot yourself in the foot by doing this, and everybody in a bubble gets a seed.
That's good. That's we've seen the effects of the seed. They are not anecdotal. Like it's like +1 clash or -1 clash, and things about their charge. Of course, if the enemy is in melee and next turn is it's spring, you don't really care. But yeah, it's not going to be the case because next you can do this during spring. So the next one is going to be summer, which means that it stabilizes your charge probably because summer is better charge for you. Need to start getting into the whole season thing. So that's good. And in addition, if you are not on a dragon, that would be too strong otherwise. If you are in a non-monster regiment and you perform a volley action against an enemy regiment that is under the effects of spring growth, so it basically means that you were in winter before, you would trigger the seed, and now you are in spring again. Need to make the mechanism in the head. Then you gain aimed shot special rule for the entire regiment, not just for you, but for the entire regiment. That's another great combo. For a reminder, aimed shot is this rule, which means that basically you gain +1 volley, and which is great. Like the whole regiment getting +1 volley, and then you can aim, starts to be tasty. Finally, because this was not enough rules for a character, he has a supremacy called Subtle Sow. There are two parts. One that is always active, which is that once per round, after everything has bloomed, so in the beginning, you select one enemy regiment that did receive the bloom, and it stays on him, and he gets another seed marker. So basically, you can choose an enemy regiment. If you want him to have permanently seeds, you can say like, okay, I shoot you once, and if I decide it so, you're always gonna have at least one seed on. That's great because we'll see many things trigger with having seeds or not. So that's actually really powerful and it goes into the army mechanics. And then once per game, so you need to activate it at the beginning of the turn until the end of the round, every Court of Spring regiments and the regiment of the character, which is probably going to be the skirmishers, count as if it were spring. So you can say like, okay, you know what? Those that really want it to be spring, it's going to be spring. The question I have on this is like, do you count if they count that it's spring, does it mean that the people that have a bloom on them are considered to have the spring's growth, which means that it would trigger aimed shot? I would say rule as written, no, but maybe rule as intended, they would like to have this trigger. Probably there's going to be a FAQ to clarify this. As I read this, unfortunately, bloom is not part of this, like it's a bit earlier, so I would say no, weird interaction there. If it does consider that you are in spring, thus every bloom is also spring's growth, you will be very happy with that. Overall, I mean, it's a great character. I mean, it is the main hero. It's not a melee monster at all. It goes very good in the playstyle of the Weaver Court. But damn, for 100 points, I like this guy. He goes very good into what the army wants to do, which is to apply some seeds, debuff the enemy, be kind of like shooting around. It is a good character for 100 points. I would say yes. And even supremacy is nice. It's never a bad choice to have this guy. Then we have the alternative version, the Mhor Sidhe, which is the autumn version, so not spring anymore. 100 points as well, and it's the melee version because, of course, let's remember that the season of autumn, if you have the autumn's harvest, I think is the name of the bloom, you basically gain +1 clash, like if you charge. It's a shock roll. So this guy has the same defensive profile, so exactly the same. However, he has 6 attacks in melee at Clash 3, Cleave 1 with Quicksilver Strike. So this guy has a very, very fair chance to one-shot enemy characters in a duel, like with a Quicksilver Strike. If you go against a mage, yes. If you go against, I don't know, a Holdrer, maybe be careful. As a melee support in a regiment, I mean, it's good as well. There are some regiments that would be very happy to have this guy, and it's a really good, like 6 attacks, Clash 4 when you're going to get inspired. Maybe Clash 4 rolling 6s if you are in autumn. Yeah, and the enemy has a bloom. Yeah, it's going to start to be really, really powerful. His main rule is the Herald of the Everrusk. I thought it was Everdusk. I was about to say it's super cool name. I'm not sure what Everrusk means. It means that basically when you are in an autumn round, I'm sorry, pronounced with the French way, autumn round, you get flawless strike. Good boost. Like, I mean, you have cleave one already, but Flawless Strike, we love it. So once every 4 turns on your go turn, which you're going to try to synchronize, Flawless Strike as well on top of that, so very good. And in addition, when his regiment is in contact with an enemy that is under the effect of Autumn's Harvest, so you already have +1 clash in your regiment, including on this guy, you get +1 attack as well. So you're like, you know what, you are dead in this turn. So the regiment of this character is probably, and you river course, you're not going to be super tough, but you are going to absolutely obliterate something that you touch with +1 attacks, +1 clash, inspiring. Okay, okay, flawless strikes on the character. Yeah, okay, all right, all right. This capacity that is always active, the character and its regiment may treat a bloom effect on an enemy regiment as if it was Autumn's Harvest. So, yes, so you can always decide to have the +1 attack if you target enemies that has a bloom. Please, stop, he's already dead. And once per game, you can choose that all Court of Return regiments and your own regiment count the round to season to be autumn. So, melee blender, not very tough, but an absolute melee blender. I have no other ways to say this. It's basically a war dancer character, if I have to make an analogy. I really like this guy. Need to see how he plays. Like I played Wegom, so being a glass cannon is not in my default play style. But as a Wegom player, for example, I see this guy charging at me +1 clash, +2 clash if you consider it the inspiring, and flawless strike on this guy, and quicksilver strike, and cleave one, and everything. I'm like, at this point, I don't even know what I'm receiving, but I know I'm gonna hurt. Really cool character as well. And I think it's absolutely a good idea to have one character of each. Spoiler, one of the good ways to expand is gonna be to buy the starter a second time, and having one melee character for autumn and one shooty character for spring is great, because it means every other turn you're gonna have a go turn on one of your character. So we're gonna start with the basic infantry, obviously, the Kern Skirmishers, 6 infantry stands that you receive in the starter set. It is the basic infantry of the Weaver Court. Like you were expecting them, here they are. I put the picture not in the regiment's size, so you can see a little bit more the style of them. So what do you get for 110 points? First of all, you get a good unit to be with your little Warlord of Spring. They are actually they do a little bit of everything. They're not okay, they're not great, but they're not absolutely abysmal in melee. They have defense 2, evasion 1, so they will die. Resolve 2, 4 wounds. They are Glascan. They will melt if anything serious touches them, but for 110 points, what were you expecting? 4 wounds. Okay. In melee, they have 4 attacks at Clash 2 base. So, I mean, it's going to be with the leader 13 attacks at Clash 3 in melee. I mean, if you charge something, might kill a few things. Might kill a couple stands indeed. So they are not defenseless in melee, but you buy them to be shooty units. They are volley 2, barrage 4 at 16 inches. Okay, now that's good. You can buy them the upgrade for 15 points, the Cannon Stalker. If you apply a seed on an enemy regiment, all other friendly enemy regiments reroll a hit roll of 6 if they shoot at the same target. So it's quite reliable. If you have, let's not even consider, we'll see later there are some other shooting units, but let's not even consider that. You have 2 packs of Kern Skirmishers, one big and one small. You can put the Cannon Stalker in the small one, actually, to trigger this, to put a seed, etc. And then your bigger pack, maybe with your hero and everything, is gonna shoot on this same regiment, and for your bigger attack, it's gonna reroll the failed hit rolls of 6. So that's actually nice. Like, I mean, I do appreciate this little combo. They are enablers for the rest of your army. But they look really, really cool. Overall, for 110 points, I mean, there is nothing wrong with them. Do note, however, they are light infantry, so you cannot just park them on every objective and shoot 16 inches away all game long. No, they are your enablers, and in first skirmisher, let's call them. They have movement 6, but they are not your main frontline units. Let's continue with the Sciathan Riders. So those guys, I hate them with all my love. The miniature is a huge success. They look great, but I hate those insects in the real life. So they look disgusting. I really don't like that. But I will be very happy to burn them with my Duelhome when I can. For what do you get for 150 points? You have cavalry, medium, so they can they can make some surprises. Movement 7, so fast, not lightning fast, but fast, especially with fly and fluid formation. The new fluid formation means you probably want to keep them at a size of 3. They are barely more resistant than your basic infantry with defense 2, evasion 2. So let's consider evasion 2, resolve 3, so +1, and additional wound at 5. Okay. They have 5 attacks at clash 3 instead of 4 attacks, so similar there as well. And they have volley 2, which, sure. These guys are basically bombers, if we could call it like this. When you have a draw event, so when they activate, it's not even at the beginning of the turn, you need to choose which way you want to use your bombing run. Basically, either you choose to heal, so they're gonna fly over someone and that friendly regiment heals 3 wounds, which is enough to bring back either to heal or even to bring back a stand if they lost it for someone that has 6 wounds. So 3 wounds is nice healing. In addition, what they say is that if the current season is the same as this regiment court, like the season, then you have an additional +2 healing. So that starts to be really, really nice. They're going to be of the same season as your warlord. So if your warlord is the guy with the bow, is going to be spring. So these guys are going to be spring, and vice versa. If your warlord is autumn, they're going to be autumn. Okay. So you can really synchronize. If you want to go all in on the season, these guys are going to be very happy with that. However, you can also put them in offensive bombing run. It's the same. You fly over an enemy, and then you make X hits, where X is the number of stands in the regiment to a maximum of 8, with +2 hits for each seasonal marker. So let's take an example. Your enemy has a huge pack of 10 Duelhomes. You make a double march and fly over, they take 8 hits. Okay, the enemy has a small stand of like 3 peasants. You fly over them, they take 3 hits only. Okay, harsh. They do not trigger a morale test. It's kind of like shooting. And the hits are from the flank, which is nice against many targets, especially those with phalanx or shields and stuff. The cool synergizing is that these guys gain +2 hits on the flank again for each seed marker. So let's say you shoot a couple times with a couple of your skirmishers. The enemy has 2 seeds. Let's say it's a default guy of like 3 stands, small. Let's pretend, or 5. Let's say 5, like a big unit, a fair unit, 5 stands. You shoot them a couple times. Maybe they lose a stand, or maybe not even because you're not lucky. And you fly over them. It's going to be 5 +2 per seed, so it's going to be +4. You're going to make 9 hits from the flank, so ignoring shields and stuff. It's not nothing. And then you're annoying in the back, and you can rear charge them with your fly and stuff. I do like those guys. They are 150 points. There are lots of utility for healing, for damaging, for just going into your opponent's back line and threatening his back objectives. I mean, those guys are nice. You probably want to keep them at 3 because of fluid formation, and you don't gain much at all by being a bigger unit. And maybe 2 times 3 if you really like those guys, rather than just boosting their numbers. We continue with the Ciannir Riders, so the shooty version of those guys. Same defensive stat line, same 4 attacks in melee. Oh, I think they had 5 attacks before. Yeah, so 1 less attack in melee. You have volley 2, but now you're gonna use your volley 2 as well. So you have this. Oh my god, look at those damn creatures. It's a myth, like moth, we call it in English. Yeah. So these guys have barrage 3 each of them. Okay, aimed shot. So you can aim the. Okay. They still have fly, they still have fluid formation, important to hear. They have opportunist, so bonus if you attack the enemy from the flank, and they have pathfinder, which is a quite a recent rule that says that a reinforcement line set by this regiment cannot be pushed back by enemy regiments. And this is big. It's basically the vice versa of like irregular, where they say like, okay, you can push your regiment behind enemy line that does not impact positively your reinforcements line. This is the other way around. It's kind of like the old children of war, firstborn children of war for the Duelhome, which means that if you are in the back of the enemy line, it doesn't matter if they have enemies in their back, your reinforcements line is pushed all the way there. So good synergy if you really have a pack that is a bit slow and you want to push them fast behind the enemy line between the fly, speed of 7, so 17 with double march, and being able to have fleet formation. I think you can really be annoying for your opponent very fast if you make them enter the battlefield turn 2. So 3 attacks at 12 inches is not insane. I mean, 150 points for the utility is nice, but their main thing, I would say, is sowing shot. When this regiment applies a seed marker on an enemy regiment by shooting at them on the side or the rear arc, so again, opportunist combos a little bit with that, you immediately apply a seed marker on another enemy regiment within 8. So you apply you apply 2 seed markers on the opponent just by shooting on the rear or on the flank, which again, you have movement 7 and you have fluid formation, so you can move and then pivot and then shoot. So that's probably what you're going to want to do. They're very, very annoying for your opponent to deal with. They are very mobile. They are pathfinders. For 150 points, I really like them. I think if you get a couple units, I would take 1 pack of Sciathan to make some support, like healing, maybe a bombing run, etc. When the enemy has a lot of seeds and you don't know what to do with the seeds. And those guys, I really like a little missile on the flank, harsh, like flying over a terrain or something, where it's going to be very difficult for your opponent to intercept, and then shooting around on the flank of opponents thanks to fluid formation. Really like lovely 2 units. Like I hate the flying insects, but in terms of gameplay, they are a very good representation of Weaver Court's gameplay, which is all about synergies, debuff, and being very mobile glass cannon. And okay, let's not beat around the bush. They are Wood Elves, and they go very well into this Wood Elf type of gameplay. What is also, they did have trees in the Wood Elf roster, and it's really something they need. You were like, okay, I have a lot of glass cannons. How do I actually hold the centers and the main objectives? Well, this is your answer. The Crann Guardians, 190 points, so a lot of points. You can upgrade the size. Maybe you will want to do. Those guys are faster than they look. They are movement 6. Okay, not bad. They have evasion 0, but they have defense 3 with shield. So defense 4 from the front, resolve 3, not ridiculous, and 6 wounds apiece. So those are your tanks, and we'll see they have a couple funky funky rules as well. But you will understand why I say roots. In melee, they have 5 attacks at Clash 2. That's not why you buy them. 5 attack at Clash 2 is nothing to write home about. They do have Relentless Blow, so it can, if you have a mass of very light infantry, like again, peasants or something fragile, you can clean them fast, sure. They do have Vanguard 3, so the turn they arrive, they're going to make 15 inches, which does allow you to capture some objective 15 inches from the table on the turn they arrive. So if they arrive turn 2, they can capture an objective 15 inches from the board edge. Very, very good. It's been clarified with FAQ that if you just barely touch it, you do capture the objective. Thank you, Parallel, for the clarification. Makes them very good in some scenarios, again, to allow you easy scoring turn 2 and upward. Once they are there, like another thing, they have impact 3 unstoppable. So if they charge, they're going to have 9. So first of all, they reroll their charges, very good. And they're going to have 9 impact, yes, only at Clash 2, but I mean, it's still quite nice. And with movement 6, you are semi-fast. I mean, for Dwagom, I consider you fast. Finally, for them, like I already like them. Well, you know my place. I play Dwagom. Of course, I like those guys, and I wish I had them in my Dwagom lists. But finally, for those guys, they have Rooted Might. It's either you're in combat or not. You can do it anyway. You choose one of the 2 actions. If the current season is the same as your Warlord's season, which is going to be the same as them, by the way. I don't know. I'm saying these guys have the same season court as the current season. They are trees. They adapt to the season. Like you see the trees in the forest. Take the colors of the seasons. Those are the same. Right now it's summer. They are a summer. It's winter. They are winter, etc. So it's nice. It gives boost. It gives boost, especially where they will be part of the big area buff of your warlord or something. So it's gonna be always nice. And if it is the same season as your Warlord season court, so you have the Bow Warlord, it is spring, they can take both of the effects. Okay, what are those effects? First of all, every single enemy regiment within 10 is gonna get a seed, uh, which, yeah, I mean, okay. So you can throw them in the middle of the enemy army and say like, okay, everyone within 10 inches gets a seed. Uh, sure, sure, nice. And you can do this either in melee or not. It's an action, by the way. It's not just a draw event. It's if you do this, you don't inspire or you waste a movement action. It's an action. The second capacity of this Rooted Might is that your Relentless Blow activates on hit rolls of 1 and 2 instead of just 1. What is the difference between this and the +1 hit from Inspiring and then Clashing? If I'm being honest, I think it's statistically the same, but if the enemy has Dread, for example, and you cannot Inspire, this is a very good way to compensate. Overall, if I'm being honest, I think the one that you're using most of the time, once you are in the middle of the enemy line, is going to be the first one to apply seed token in an area around you. Overall, really love those units, and I think they allow the Weaver Court army to function as an army because these are going to be your frontline holders. And while the enemy tries to deal with them somehow, defense 4, resolve 3 in a big pack, let's say resolve 4 with 6 wounds, and they can heal with some Sciathan or above them, it's going to start to be oppressive for your opponent. And yeah, I really like those guys, and you get 3 of them in the starter. Talking about the starter, like this is gonna be my first recommendation on how to expand. It's something I do often, but here really, you have 225 euros of miniatures for 160 euros. So that's a great deal, and I cannot recommend you like, yeah, buy a box of this, buy a box of that. No, you should buy a second box of these, and you're gonna get closer to 2,000 points of Weaver Court. It's already a 30% discount without even taking into consideration the 10% off that you have with the Love10 code on the Parabellum website. Thank you very much, guys. If you do this, it really allows the channel to stay alive. And I made a little calculation without counting the dice, the terrain, the card, and everything. Just in terms of miniature, it gives you a free character, and on top of that, a free box of the Kern Skirmishers for free. So really incredible. And I'm like, like I told you, like guys, the character there are 2 versions to make, so you can really try to make one of each version. You can make one of each version of the flying cavalry units, which is your core things. You're gonna have 48 packs of the basic infantry, but they are cheap. They are cheap in terms of game. Like 4 packs is gonna be 440 points, and you're gonna have a real good activation game trying to flood the table. Or you can make 2 packs of 5, for example, or 2 packs of 5, each with a character. Maybe is gonna be a good way to have some solid melee, solid shooting force going around. So it's always good. Like 48, I don't think it's too much. And finally, you have those trees, 2 packs of 3, or 1 massive pack of 5 or 6 to hold an objective really good, or 1 of each flank, for example, 2 packs of 3. There is nothing you will throw away. The character, everything is good to have in a second pack. And I made a calculation. So as I said, the infantry and the characters are free, both of that. If you consider just the miniatures, so you can start to resell. Like, let's say you don't like the cavalry very much. You want maybe 1 pack, you don't want the other. Sell it at the back, and it's gonna make you more and more discounts as you resell some of the stuff. But the deal for a new army that not many people have is insane. So really, really a great starter set with everything being playable, like if they did on purpose. The second thing that I would recommend you to expand, it's super expensive, I understand. I have to say to put it there because I love the miniature. I think if I were to play Weaver Court, and it's going to be another guy of the channel that's going to play Weaver Court, he's playing them right now. If it were to be someone else, if I had to play, I would play for this guy. I would get a couple of those. I'm not going to recommend you to buy a couple of those because that's expensive, but it's a massive, incredibly cool miniature. I love it. It's the concept of the Forest Dragon changed to be like this, like kind of like wooden Trent dragon, or this incredible monster. Like, oh my god, look at this. It looks like straight off. There is an old game called 99 Nights, if you've seen that. But it looks like all these new, like, let's say, Elder Scroll, not Elder Scroll, the Elden Ring and stuff, like with these very flavorful monster. This is what I remember. Could have been in a Dungeons and Dragons like Arcana book as well. The design is insane. Like I love the concept of both of those guys, and I would play one of each. But I will not recommend. I'm just pointing your attention that if you want to expand, this is a good way. Because let's take a look at the rules. I'm gonna start with this guy, the Coil Draic. If you buy it at the same time as the starter set, which may or may not have been what we have done as well, so we're gonna get two of those on top of the one that we received. This guy has the capacity right here, before you even take a look at the stat line, to have either the melee or the shooty character that we've seen before as a rider. It costs plus 30 points, and for a guy that costs 230 points base, it starts to be a lot. So 260 for the monster with the Warlord trait, plus 100 points for your Warlord. It's a package at 360 points if you put a character out there. But then this guy is gonna gain barrage plus 2, so it goes to barrage 9 to barrage 11, and it has a volley of 2 with aimed shot and armor piercing 1. Just so you know this, we're gonna discuss more in a second, but okay, you can do this. It's a really good way to have plus 2 barrage, and the barrage range gets plus 2 inches, going from 8 to 10. Incredible. Like, it's super cool to have either a melee guy charging down there, but especially I think the archer guy combos extremely well, because this guy, the Draic Rider, gets plus 2 to the barrage, and your character shoots as well. So you can really have a shooting machine, just shooting everywhere with tons of shots, with aimed shot and stuff. It is going to be the same seasonal cohort as the current season, very well, this guy. So he's always going to be in the correct season. Now that we've beaten around the bush, let's take a look at its stat lines. It has defense 3, evasion 2, not extremely tough, resolve 4, that is nice, 18 wounds, so okay for a monster, not the highest we've ever seen, but 18 wounds is okay. But put it in the perspective that as soon as the enemy has cleave or something, you are in evasion 2. So perspective, even though you have resolve 4. Means he's a bit vulnerable, this guy, to massed shooting actions, so be careful. Like, a horde of ballistae shooting at this guy with AP1 is gonna be his nightmare in terms of point efficiency. So be careful with that. So 18 wounds. In melee is not defenseless at all. It has 12 attacks at Clash 3. So Clash 4 when you inspire, and you can also get shock and stuff, let's remember. With Cleave 1, so really a good melee blender as well. Volley 2, movement 7 is fast with Fly and Impact 6. Whew. That is a good monster that is very versatile, either as a mount, either as a missile that you're gonna make charge around. He can shoot if he needs to. He can fly behind the enemy lines. He can then charge in their rear with Impact 6, with a ton of attacks at good quality with Cleave 1. This guy is crazy. Do note that he has a special breath attack, so let's say noxious attack, because it's a forest dragon. If he makes it, all the attacks of this guy, excluding the attached character which still shoots with the bow, it performs multiple times, once for each regiment in the front arc and within barrage range, targeting each regiment in its front rank and the barrage rounds. Okay, it still counts as a single volley action. This is huge. This is why you take him. Like, actually, like, he does a lot of things, but if you can trigger this, and again, it's something of synergy and stuff. Why the armor piercing one is so weak and so short range is because it's huge. Plus 2 inches on the cone, it's huge. It boosts your template and it can allow you to touch a couple extra units. Basically, it doesn't shoot arrows, the monster himself. He makes a breath, which means that, let's say you align the planet, you fly around, you don't have fluid formation, be careful. You fly around, you have your character, so you have barrage plus 2 and better range, plus your character that is shooting as well. You choose a main target, which is gonna be what your character on top is gonna shoot on, and then every enemy in range is gonna get 11 shots at volley 3 with the aim shot, 11 attacks, volley 3, armor piercing 1. Ouch! I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, it's extreme. Like, it sounds strong. You can protect from yourself. It's only movement 7 with fly, so it's not super OP, like, oh my god. But if you manage to handle this, the enemy is gonna have a very bad time. I think it's gonna be extremely fun to play this monster. Like just for this, I want to play. The miniature is insane. The concept is cool, and in terms of fun on table, I think it's gonna be very fun to position this guy to make his breath attacks. Love it very much. Is it gonna be competitive? Is it gonna win the world championship? I don't know. I think it's for the point cost. It seems okay, quite okay even, not too strong. But in terms of fun on the table, I think you're gonna love this extremely, like very much. Be careful, if you are in melee, you can make your breath, but only on the character. You cannot charge someone, be in melee, and then target, like be locked in melee and shoot on everyone behind. If you are in melee, you can shoot on the guy that you are in melee with. So that is one way to trigger, to untrigger the attack. Still very good. Finally, once per round, which is good, once per round, when you destroy an enemy regiment, you heal 2 wounds for every seed marker that was on the enemy regiment. Not sure it's going to happen every game, but for example, you have a little scout unit of like light cavalry or infantry that is damaged. You shoot a couple times with some archers, so they have a couple. First of all, they are wounded, and they also have seeds. You go, you charge, probably in melee to make sure you obliterate them, and then you heal 4. So healing 4 wounds on the beast like that is gonna be nice. It's gonna be game changer, no, but try to remember, because if the enemy offers you some light MSU threat, this is a good way to punish the enemy. And the second version, I'm trying to go fast. I realize that it's going to be a very long video. I'm sorry again, guys, but you want my opinion in depth on this. The Scoth Draic, be careful. This guy is from the Court of Spring only, so it doesn't adapt. Court of Spring. Same defensive stat line, same wounds, same number of attacks, clash 3, bully 2, like exactly the same. However, this guy is he has 4 special rules unique to himself, and we're gonna see them in detail. First of all, it's terrifying 1. Okay, the other previous one was not. This one is, but I mean, look at his face. He has flawless strike on top of cleave 1, sure. Impact 5 instead of 6, doesn't change much. Opportunist, so the previous one didn't have opportunist, nope. So it does motivate you to fly, to go behind the enemy lines, and then to charge them from the flank. And he has 4, it's the same price. It cannot be a mount. It's more like a wild beast. Like the previous one was kind of like draconic and like you can control it. This is just a wild beast. And let's take a look at the 4 rules. The first one is that this creature and every unit within 8 gain untouchable. So rerolling 6s to defend when you get shot at, when they get shot by enemies. So he has a bubble of whenever himself or someone gets shot at, he has a better defense. I told you that mass crossbowmen or something were what he fears because he has high resolve and quite a low evasion. This is a good defense against that, and he has a bubble of that. Very good. You need to make sure that it flies. I didn't specify, but obviously both dragons are heavy units. No surprise there. That is a good bubble of aura. We have this on the Dwegom now on the Stone Forge, and it is useful. Like it happens, like it will save you from quite a few wounds every single game. Then Echoes of Whispers, because you start to see that it's not a very nice creature. Once per round, when an enemy regiment within 8 has seeds marker bloom, so they are already bloomed. When they're blooming, let's say more like this, he heals 3 wounds. So he has a way of healing potentially 3 wounds every single turn if the enemy keeps blooming. And okay, very good. Let's remember that if he melees and the guy is not dead, he has a seed. And if it's a spring round, a ruined, so every 4 turns, it heals 5 wounds instead. Let's remember as well that your shooty character has a way to make everybody in the army, once per game, his supremacy is, okay, everybody considers it to be spring. Like all my spring regiment considers it to be spring. So if you really need him to heal, there is a way to make it happen. It's a strong rule. Like it's a more tanky, it's more of a distraction carnifex, I would say, which is fun. Like I like to have equivalent of distraction carnifex. Like I throw this and I'm like, okay, deal with this. Third special rule, Avatar of Nature. When an enemy regiment inflicts wounds on this regiment as a result of a clash or charge, and after all the morale and wounds have been resolved, any seeds on the enemy regiment immediately bloom. Even if you die, this happens. So basically, the enemy blooms as soon as they do anything in melee with this guy. It's like avatar of nature. Like it's like the life force of the plane of life, if we are talking about Rift, uh, made manifest. And so you attack this guy, you charge him, you do anything. Anytime he suffers wounds, there is a blooming against the guy that did that. That is good because it makes them more susceptible of being charged on the flank or the enemy. Like you can get +1 to your clash, etc. So he's really like the tank. Like he absorbs the enemy attacks and he's gonna heal later, and he has protection and stuff. Really like a distortion Crann effect. And when the enemy attacks him in melee, then they become more vulnerable. If you put seeds on them before, they become more vulnerable to your counterattack, which is, it tells you how to play this guy as a magnet to the enemy attacks. Finally, when this guy dies, do not remove its stand from the battlefield until the end of the game. The stand becomes an obscuring, hindering, and traversable piece of zonal terrain. And so I love it. It's so thematic. Like when the dragon dies, maybe magnetize it so you can, if it's not a tournament when you're willing to measure, maybe magnetize the guy so you can just put it on the ground when he dies. And so it's a terrain, so it's obscuring, hindering, and it's harsh. Like it is the body of the dragon falling on the ground. And any enemy that moves through it has a seed applied to it because there's such life force going out of it. I love this rule so much. It's thematic, it's fun, it's fluff. You understand it right away. And I love it. Like your miniature is still there. Paint it well, guys. Paint it well because it's gonna be there the whole game long. And I love it. It's extremely cool. Like you die, you become a terrain. You know how much I love this rule in Armored Clash for when you have giant fortress and they die and they become terrain and you can get inside the fortress and shoot like if it was a building or a ruin. Love it. This is something similar. And it is the fourth rule that tells you this guy is your distraction Kern effect, because even when he dies, and he will die because even if he heals, you're gonna throw it at the enemy, make sure that he absorbs the attack, etc. When he dies, hopefully inside the enemy lines, he's gonna stay there, be annoying, and give seeds to the enemy that have to go through him. If you can put him like between two terrains that are unpassable, like between two buildings, let's say two houses, and he charges there, is annoying, and then he dies. Any enemy that wants to go through to go to the center of the battlefield is gonna get seeds. Okay. What can I say? It's very cool. It's very fun. I love it. I have to say, Weaver Courts are probably one of my favorite army of the entire game, thematic-wise. And the miniatures are insane. Like, I was not so keen on Yoroni. I mean, Yoronis are very cool, but they didn't speak to me. And I was like, okay, it's cool, it's fun, it's easy, it's for new players, okay? Even Sorcerer King with the whole combo of magic. I'm not a magic player overall. But damn, those Weaver Courts, the rules are so cool. They're so thematic. I will tell you guys, if I had space in my apartment in Paris, which is very full of the way homes, I would absolutely start an army of Weaver Courts. Like maybe you can hear this in how I describe the army, but it sounds so fun to play, and it's not even my gameplay. I like to play defensive, but all their rules seem like when you're gonna play. Okay, there's gonna be a couple of games you're gonna learn the rules and lose, like always, like you learn your rules, okay? But when you master this army, I think it's gonna be one of the most fun, like the funniest, most fun army to play. Like, love it so very, very much. And yes, it is expensive, 140 euros. Yes, even with minus 10%, it's gonna be 126 euros. Yes, it's expensive. But damn, like, congrats on Parabellum on making monsters and dragons that have such cool rules that I want to play both of them. Amazing. And because it's not going to be all for the Weaver Courts, they have been announced, and I just want to show you those guys, how cool they are. You don't have to play spring only or spring and autumn. There are other things for summer, for winter, and I wanted to recommend what is coming. The Ciannchas Sidhe and the Gemred Knights. Those units are insane. Like the Gemred Knights, those knights, apparently they are even bigger than Ashen Dawns. The style of this thing. Look at they have skulls on the side. Like they're kind of like the Wild Hunt of winter. They are winter forces. The character is a winter spellcaster. The Gemred Knights are winter creatures. So let's remember you have Dread. So they're for winter. That's your main thing. And yeah, there's this character. It basically consumes seeds to boost its spells. If you I need to make it short. And this guy unlocks the upcoming Gemred Knights. And the character, so the spellcaster, can buy an upgrade to become cavalry. And then you put him inside the Gemred Knights, and you have your very cool regiment of heavy cavalry that looks insanely cool. And you unlock winter. I think a very cool and fun way to play, if you have experience, will be to have one character of each court, so spring, summer, autumn, winter, and to have this rotation of how you play. I guess this is where they want us to go, either to have one court or two, or try to make the full rotation. But yeah, I cannot get over the fact I'm not a cavalry guy either, but look how cool those guys are. Insane. That is going to be it on how to play the Weaver Courts. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. As always, the best way to support us is, if you like those miniatures, is to go on the Parabellum website and use the LOVE10 code to buy the miniatures. Thank you very, very much, guys, if you do that, because it also shows Parabellum that our channel is boosting the people and motivating them. I am very happy for the Weaver Courts. It is the army that I'm the most excited about in a while. And look at this art direction; it's absolutely insane. I'm really looking forward to play against Weaver Courts and to feature them on battle reports. I try to motivate some partners of game. We have multiple armies now to showcase on the channel. We have Sorcerer Kings, we have Nords that are finished, and we are painting Yoroni and starting the Weaver Courts. So I just need to get my gaming partners to have some free time around the Christmas time. It's a bit harsh. But we will make you some battle reports of last arguments of King, and of course tournament reports when they happen. I'm really looking forward to showcase you those guys, and I'm also very excited to see what Parabellum has in store for the Weaver Courts. So let me know in the comments. I think I said it in the beginning, but you can win an entire army of War Machine fully pro-painted. You can gain a starter set. You can gain quite a few things by just putting a comment. But why not take the opportunity of posting a comment to, first of all, it's always nice to hear that you like the video. And also, what do you think of the Weaver Courts? Do you think it's too complex? Do you think it's just the right level of mastery? I think they have tools to be played even by beginner players. But I would like to have your opinion on how they play, and also on the art direction. I know it speaks to me a lot, this kind of like insectoid slash treant aspect. I know some people expected like traditional Wood Elves, and they were not very happy with that. So what is your opinion on the Weaver Courts? Let me know. And all the YouTube things, like, subscribe, hype, all the things that you know and love, and subscribe, especially if you are not subscriber yet. Thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourself, and until the next video, remember to keep all things fair in love and war games. Bye.